hard to find. Strong-arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making Orca fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. Orcas all say, don't come for me. Mid-merge boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk Orca game. Orca King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Danny and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show, they're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the Orca Pod, the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. We're coming to you for our penultimate episode of our coverage of Canberra, Mount Majura, Season 4. We have tonight often the most hotly anticipated episode of all of our coverage for any particular season, the Tea Party with a twist, with a change-up for this evening. I'll get into that in a moment, but this is our penultimate episode, our final episode next week. This may be the most exciting for all, but the most exciting for one, the most important moment in somebody's life will take place next week as we induct a new calf into the Congress of the Orcas. No greater pleasure can be experienced in life than joining our illustrious pod of orcas as we swim through these LRG oceans. We have been engaged, the Congress has been re-engaged, and they are busily sending me their votes for the Brommy nominees of this season. And many of these Brommies we're going to see tonight. Often this Tea Party is a layup to the actual termination of the Orca. People have won their Orca. They have got the votes over the line by their behavior on this very show. Jess from Backyard Survivor 2 is no better example. Who was barely in the running, and her behavior on the Orca Pod Tea Party resulted in her victory in joining the Congress. Tonight we've got a number of our illustrious Brommy winners. In fact, many people in this season received 2 Brommies, and we have 3 of them with us tonight. 3 two-time Brommy winners. It'll be great to see what they have to give about themselves and the season. But one very important business, as has been announced in the past, but formally welcoming a new host to the Tea Party. Firstly, I need to thank Annabelle for all of her service to our podcast. Annabelle famously would not watch these LRG seasons, maybe would watch them in times 2, and then ask me for some questions that she can give to the attendees at the Tea Party. And it was still the toppest of tiers of content. That was the quality of Annabelle as the host of the Tea Party. But she's moved on to being a real podcaster on real podcast channels. She literally can have conversations and DMs with Rob Sesternino and his crew. And so she has outgrown us into the stratosphere of podcasting, and that is fine. We wish her well. And I asked her for her blessing to bring in a replacement for the Tea Party. Nobody in this world, let alone this community, can replace Annabelle. She is one of a kind. Anyone who's ever met her in real life or has seen her on her podcast will know that there is no one that can replace her. But if there is one person in this entire community that I think has the chance of coming close, it is this man that I've brought in to be Annabelle's replacement. He is the Orca of Backyard Season 4, again, heavily campaigned on his Tea Party for that as well. Let me welcome him, the new host of the Tea Party. Josh, welcome.
Hello. That was such a lovely intro, but I do agree. I don't think anybody could replace Annabelle. Like, she is a true icon, but I'll do my best.
Do you think was becoming an Orca the most exciting moment in your life, and has this moment now replaced it?
Yeah, I'd say they're probably on par. Like, I mean, the only thing that could be more exciting is like, winning Australian Survivor. So we'll see how I
No,
go.
winning is meaningless. What matters is becoming the Orca, as all three of our guests, they didn't win, but next week, they're in the running. They're in the running. One of them may be the Orca, so they have that to come. I'm going to step away, and I'm going to let you take charge of your first ever tea party. I know you're going to kill it. Go for it, Josh.
Oh, I'm scared. Okay, so yeah, we've got the tea party tonight. Canberra 4 was, yeah, a bit of a wild and wacky season, lots of chaos, lots of flip-flopping. And with returning players coming back, I think, that gives a little bit more potential for a bit of tea to be spilled, a bit of rivalries from the past, maybe some naughty things that happened at the after party of their original season, who knows. But yeah, so we should welcome on our guests. So yeah, first, I don't know if I control this, I don't know. I think CK's doing it. But yeah, should we
Danny's
welcome?
Gonna do it. Danny will do it for you. Welcome them one at a time. Give them a little bit of like hype about who they're going to be, and then Danny will figure out from that who you're going to bring.
Okay. All right, so let's bring in first. We've got, I think, like the Chaos Demon of the season, really. Didn't think she would last long, but lasted longer than I thought, and I'm very glad about that. Yeah, described as frantic, a bit wild, and we loved her for it. So let's bring in Maddie. Hey. Oh, you're muted. Unmute.
Hello, how are we?
Hey, I'm great. I hope you're feeling good as well as you
Yeah.
can be.
I've got my hoodie on. That's all that matters.
Me too. We're repping the hoodies. It's really hot though. I had to take my pants off, but you can't see that low
Oh,
anyway.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're not too hot.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome. What does it feel like to be invited to the tea party and get to spill some tea?
Look, to be honest, I didn't really look who was invited, and then I was shocked when I just saw it was only the three of us, and I thought, oh my goodness. So yeah, I was a little bit shocked, and then I was, obviously I wasn't feeling too well today, and I was like, oh no, I have to be there. Like, obviously I have to be there. So yeah, I feel quite privileged to be invited to this tea party.
Of course. And I do remember we've had a moment on a podcast before. I think for your boot, you were like on a train randomly with like bad signal, like for your first season. So
My
it's good
first
to have
season.
you. Yeah, it's good to have you with normal internet. So well.
Exactly.
All right. And our next guest. So we have, well, kind of, yeah, not a returning player, but kind of a returning player. So we have, a bit of a cutie, can't lie, on TV and in person, definitely. And apparently he's really big in like the foot fetish community, apparently. Not that I started that, but yeah, let's bring on God of War.
Where's my cut? I haven't seen any profit from those foot photos.
Nah, sorry. It's in my secret OnlyFans under a pseudonym, so
you'll have scammed here.
Yeah, I just put it into my tax return so the ATO might follow up with you. You might get a cut, some dividends.
I respect the hustle.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so welcome, Mars. Yeah, what are your thoughts? What's the tea? You got some juicy goss to spill?
Thank you for having me. I don't know if I've got much tea on the top of my head, but I'm sure as we talk tonight, there'll be stuff that comes out. But yeah, I'm just very excited to go through the whole season with you guys. It's been a wild ride.
Yes, it really was, watching it too. So, and then our last guest. So we have somebody who isn't in the foot fetish community, but potentially is in like the misogynist community, known for aligning with all the men, all the boys. So, I would like to hear the explanation behind that, and we love it. I'm only joking, of course. We've got our queen. Let's bring on Bree.
I'm never going to live that shit down, am I?
It's so funny, though. I love it. I want, like, the full because I feel like it just happens in the moment. Like, you bond with who you bond with, you trust with who you trust. It's like,
And
What do you-
Dan absolutely made the most of everything that I said and just run with it. And I'm just here like, okay, we'll roll with it. But also, what the hell was I saying?
Yeah, you maybe got stitched up a bit by the edit, but we can't blame it on the edit unless, I don't know, with AI nowadays, maybe you didn't say it. Who knows? Yeah, so
Are we all matching?
Yeah, in
we've all got the
solidarity.
beauties on.
I love it.
we love it. But yeah, it is a bit hot for me, but that's okay. And my cats are warming me up too. But yeah, so I just finished like rewatching a bit of the last of the season. So yeah, it was good to see you guys. You all made it pretty far. So what if we start off with maybe Maddie as a returnee? So tell me, like, from the beginning, the casting, was there rumors that you might be invited back? Like, spill the tea, what were the whisperings? How did this all happen?
So basically, when I got booted out of 3, I was like pretty cut up about it. At the time, I didn't know that Simon from season 2 had played, and he was like giving me all this feedback and like, it hurts really bad. I was like, this man gets it. But I hadn't watched season 2 yet and didn't know that he'd played because it hadn't been released yet. And I was like, man, this man just really understands what I'm talking about. So then I came back, crewed the next day. I said I rang like my family and was like, look, guys, this camping adventure that I'm on, because like obviously I didn't tell them what I was doing, is being cut short. Like I've got to come home. I'll only be back. I'll be gone for 2 hours. And then I stayed until it all wrapped up. And I had like 26 missed phone calls from my parents thinking that I was in this random camping event and that like things had gone badly, but it was fine. So, and then when that kind of wrapped up, I was like, oh, I just really love to play again. And then I was approached by Dan and he was like, I'm thinking potentially that might be an option. And then, I was like, I'm in. And then I got that confirmation email and I was like, woo. So, I felt pretty privileged to be invited back a second time.
Amazing. Yeah, of course, getting invited back is like so exciting, such a privilege. And were you in like close contact with any of the boots from your season? Like obviously Anthea was back as well. Like was there any little whispers going on or speculation? Or was everything hush?
I had my own speculations of who would be back. I really thought that Squin would be back. But that obviously it was Anthea, but she was one of the people. I think when I watched my video, I listed like 5 people that I wanted to come back from season 3, which makes no sense. Like that's just too many people. But when I was like filming, I was like, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be collected, all this stuff. And it just really, I just think I was channeling what I wanted to be, but that's not me at all. So I was really hoping to, I was a little bit scared to see like some really hardcore players. So I was like, oh, I hope it's someone that was kind of like in the same level or in my alliance. Like, let's be real. I love Bethany and Eden, but they like, if they'd see me again, I don't know, they wouldn't have aligned with me again. Not that I did anything wrong in 3 compared to 4. But I think they would have been like, not willing to align with me because I kind of had an idea of the game, whereas before I was like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Like, let me just follow everybody. So I think Anthea coming back, who was someone that was in my core alliance that was kind of like a bit more reserved, was probably better for my game. But then, I don't know, I kind of viewed everyone as friends. Like, I thought Aston was my number 1 the whole time because we're friends outside. Like, let's be real, that's not how it was. So you got to learn to play, not with your friends. I love you now, Brie, but I can never play with you. Mars, I like you too, but I feel like we could be chaos coordinators.
I would agree with
Why
that.
didn't you want to do that with me? Why?
I wanted to do that with
give
you.
me a name.
Oh,
You wouldn't
it's all
give me
about
a
the
name.
name.
Yeah, we'd be like, okay, well then, okay, Maddie, what do you think? What's your idea? And you're like,
Whatever you
I
want to
don't
do.
know. Yeah, and then you
As
run
long as
off.
it's not me.
And I'm like, Maddie, where are you going?
To be fair, I think I saw Maddie throwing a lot of names out. That's why that's why Maddie's name kept coming up. So, so that's how your journey started. We will get onto Aston later, but maybe let's go. Who wants to go next about how your journey started, how you got involved, and like maybe I don't know. Maybe let's go Mars because obviously you'd played on Melbourne Uncharted Waters, which I think was filmed before this Canberra.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you get like pulled in as somebody that they knew of from the Melbourne thing? Or did you, yeah, like how did that all go? And did you have to be like, oh, sorry guys, I have played, or yeah, what happened there?
So I'm like fairly new to the whole Survivor community. Like when what was it? So it was, I played a trial for Melbourne Survivor, and then pretty much right after I got cast and played in Uncharted Waters, Melbourne Survivor. And then the year after, I played in this Canberra season. So I wasn't like recruited or anything. I definitely just applied for these. And I think people did know that I had played, especially Dan, because Dan was there crewing for Melbourne. And I think even though like a year feels like a long time to stew over your first season and kind of implement stuff into your second one, I think the problem is that I'm very closed-minded when I play, and I'm like, okay, I got the plan and this is how I'm going to play, and everyone can just work into my plan. And so it's only until the season got released then I can see what everyone else is thinking, and I can go, oh, okay, this is how I'm perceived, this is how everyone else is playing, and I can grab some stuff from what they're doing and implement it into my game. But I never had the opportunity because, yeah, my first Melbourne season came out after I played Canberra. So, and I mean, spoilers, but like it's been long enough. If you guys haven't seen Melbourne, I did pretty well in Melbourne, and I also was a finalist in the trial game that I played. So I was like, oh, this game's pretty easy. So I came in pretty cocky. I was like, well, I was finalist, and then I did pretty well in Melbourne. So we'll just throw stuff at the wall and see what happens in Canberra.
Yeah, because I guess you didn't have you didn't watch your season back, so you didn't see other people's confessionals about you. Like you couldn't see, oh, that was embarrassing. That's, like a tell where you can see, oh, I obviously was lying there. So yeah, so you kind of had an advantage in some ways, but then not in others.
Yeah, and I feel like compared to Canberra, I think there were a lot less active players in Melbourne. I found that like a lot of people were happy to go with the votes, and so I was just telling them where to vote, and they were like, okay. And so I was like, oh, this game, I just tell people what to do and they do it. So obviously it would work in Canberra, which it did not. But yeah, so it's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, I do think you played a great game in Melbourne, and there were a lot of passive players that shouldn't have made it further, but that's okay. We won't go there. But yeah, so Bree, what about you? So I know personally, I've been hearing about you for years. You're friends with all my friends from over East. I'm like, who is
It's
this
a online presence, Josh. It's just
presence.
everywhere.
Literally, you're like, I don't know, a social media scene queen or Survivor, like LRG scene queen. I don't know. But yeah, I kept hearing about you, and finally I see you on our screen. So tell me the backstory, and how did it take you so long to finally play? Like, you should have been like an OG from the sounds of it.
Unfortunately, it was just one of those things where for so long I just knew too many people all of the time. So like I was a permanent alternate for like how many years? It was ridiculous. Like I took a while to find the Australian side of the community because I was playing US orgs before this. So I played them for God knows how long. Finally found the Australian side. And my first, like I did a trial with Melbourne Survivor as well. And that was in, I want to say like October 2019. So like a long while ago. And then like I heard Canberra doing season 1 and half my friends had obviously traveled up for that. So I'd heard of it and I was like, okay, you know, and then I finally met Dan. I don't know if you've heard of Dylan Hedder's Equilibrium game. So Dan and I played on the first Fans vs Favourites, one of them. So we were playing with actual Survivor players in like this sequester-like layout. So it was absolute mayhem, but I met Dan through that. And I'm trying to think, I think season 3 he asked me to play, and then I don't think the dates lined up. So I was like, no, I can't do it. And then Melbourne 4 came, Melbourne 3, I was a permanent alternate. 4, they were asking me the night before to play Uncharted Waters, so I would have met Mars there. Unfortunately wasn't meant to be, and then just so happens that Mars and I end up on the same screen for Canberra 4. But quite ironic really, because Mars, even though season 4 hadn't been aired, I 1000% knew what happened in that season. So Mars was no stranger to me, even though I'd never actually met him. I just heard someone call out his name at the marooning and I went, I know who that is. Okay, I've got to be very wary. But I knew straight away that if I said anything, he probably wouldn't want to work with me. So I'm like, I'm going to stay quiet and see if he wants to work with me. If he doesn't, well, I've got the ammo to get rid of him, but I'll give him a chance first. And thankfully, he decided that was valuable. So on the other hand, Maddie, you just...
At least Mars got a chance. I had no chance.
Hang on a second. You started that because I didn't even recognize you. I literally took it until Sunday night. I had to sit down in an Airbnb with Kyle X, Matt Chin, and Nick Rance, and they had to literally spell it out to me as to who you were. And I went, oh, how did I not click onto this the whole time?
Girl, I knew who you were.
Yeah, I know you knew who I was because you gunned for me the first round, remember?
Oh, yeah. Must have slipped my mind.
I wonder why we didn't trust each other, you know.
We're like this now. That's all that matters.
Well, that's a good point to get into, like the start of the game. So like, yeah, how did things, go? Because obviously there was certain alliances, like we seem to have a core group of like Bree, Aston, Mars, and Jordo. And then Maddie was not, I don't know, doing
wasn't part of the core
whatever
four.
she was doing. Yeah, so like how did those dynamics work? Yeah, and even like, talk a bit about the other players. Like Aston obviously was a huge character and a big power player. And then Maddie, got rid of him. So like, yeah, what happened with that? Let's go. Give me the tea.
I guess I can sort of attest to the alliance. I don't know, like the first, because we had a couple of rounds before we actually had to do any voting or anything. So we actually got the chance to get to know one another over our teas and hot chocolates and coffees and all of that jazz. Yeah, you digging through the coffee. Not so obviously.
Yeah, apparently Mars picked up on that. He was like, Maddie, it was so
funny.
obvious. And then me and Janina like being so like quiet, like, look, I found a clue. But did you actually know I found the clue in the coffee? Or was it I started like trying to find the thing that went with the clue? Because I needed the back of the other paper.
I don't even know if I saw you find anything. I think I was just like, it was the most obvious idol hunt I've seen in my life.
You were just always mischievous. I just never could trust
play
you.
games, guys.
But yeah, anyway, so you obviously stand around talking to everyone quite a bit. And I was like, I'm getting good vibes from George. Aston seems like the leader of the tribe. That sounds like someone that will ultimately fall down before I do. And then Mars, he and I are both smart players. I know that. He seems to want to work with, like, we're getting good vibes off one another. Let me just throw this out because the four of us were walking back from, I think, Maddie, you were organising teacher games and we were walking back from that.
With Adele.
And And I just turned around as we're walking back. I'm like, I like this 4. And then everyone sort of just nodded, and that was the end of it. It was never spoken of again after that.
Yeah, I
Love
think
that.
I just like most of the way that I play is just based on vibes and based on like my alliances are based on who I vibe with the most, and I think who I can bounce off strategically. And I think, like Brie, you were saying, you and I kind of are similar in that way, and we can bounce off ideas. And I think also like because I'd seen Canberra 1, 2, but then 3 hadn't been released yet. So there was these unknown players, and in Marooning they were like, oh, we've got these people coming back, and I was like, oh damn, okay, so they're bringing back like game players. Surely they're bringing people who are like super strategic, super switched on, who are just like cutthroat, and then Maddie comes into our tribe. And I have so much love for you, Maddie, but you would like I look over and then you're throwing stuff up, you're running around like a headless chook. So funny.
And Maddie, everyone saw you grab that thing off the flag. Everyone saw it.
No, okay. And then I tried to.
We're all just like, okay.
Hey, Jordan was like telling me a really deep and meaningful story, and I was not listening at all. And he was just like, yeah, I'm really sad. And I'm like, trying to pull that thing off. But in saying that, I was trying to flash it to you when the cameras were off as well. Like, and Ma was like, no. Like, you have to wait till the cameras were on, because I had it in my pocket ready to play at the first tribal, but I had to. Like, what would happen if it was actually an idol? And you guys were going to vote me out anyway. It was me or Hayley.
Well, speaking of Hayley, so Hayley was obviously a returning player, bit of like, you know, an underdog fan favorite. And so you said you guys had seen season 2, but not 3.
I hadn't, but you do.
But it was out. So yeah, like, did you know, was Hayley taken out for her being a threat, or like, you know, was it just you just didn't vibe, or what was the reasoning sort of behind that?
I think we all know my reasoning. It was me or her.
I mean, for me it was because I'd seen Hayley on her original season, and I thought she played a really good game, and I did want to work with her. I think walking back from some challenge, I can't remember which one it was. She like we were next to each other, and she whispered in my ear. I think she made like a final 2 pact or something with me, and I'm like, this is insane behavior on the first like we just got past our first challenge, and I'm like, well, I mean, if you're actually true to that, then like I guess I might entertain that. But then I hear from, I can't remember, maybe it was Aston or someone who said that Hayley was throwing my name out. So I was like, well, I can't trust a bar of what you're saying. And I mean, turns out it was Adele who actually initially threw my name out, but you know.
That whole vote was a freaking mess. Because I had this one, freaking Maddie coming after me. And like, because initially I was pitched an all-girls alliance, and I was sort of like, you know, you take it with a grain of salt, being like, oh, you know, I'll entertain that. Like, let's see if it actually goes through to fruition. And then 2 seconds later, Maddie's throwing my name out. I'm just like, well, there goes the girls alliance. Screw that.
If you rewatch the footage, it's really bad. It's like, I'm like, I want an all-girls alliance. They're like, do you trust the returnees? I'm like, no. Do you trust any of the girls? No. So did I really want the all-girls alliance? It doesn't sound like I actually knew what I was doing.
So really, I should have been aiming for you. But then at the same time, I knew that, I don't even know how it got changed onto Hayley. I think it was because Dally told Hayley initially, and then Hayley proceeded to tell everyone else. I was like, no, I need to be the good ally on this vote. And we'll get Hayley out on this one. And then if we go back to tribal again, we'll get Maddie then. That was sort of the mindset. I was like, okay, look, I'll show I'm loyal. I'll make sure I have allegiances. I'll make sure I'm not the one getting voted out, because my name was obviously thrown out there. And then we'll move forward after that.
Okay. And so what about the other returnees? So we had Janine. So Janine, she seemed to be sort of solid, just chilling. Like, I don't know. What was the vibe? Like, I would have worked with Janine.
My first real experience with Janine was when we had those like challenges where we had to split up. And I was on the food eating challenge with who was it? Janine, Aston, and who else was it?
Haley, you had all the returnees,
Haley?
didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah,
So it was
Haley
like,
was there.
oh, all right. And like, I think we were trying to make something happen with that 4. But I think I just overall didn't vibe with that 4 as well with our other 4. Also, I think just like the 3 of them giving up on that eating challenge, I was like, well, screw you. You're not even going to try this game. Like someone eats half a dry croissant and starts throwing up. Like, come on. So I was like, I just don't know if we are compatible in that mindset. So I don't know how we would work as an alliance.
I was genuinely shocked that you guys didn't get through that. Like, I really thought until like it aired that you guys got through that. Like, the Centurion egg's bad though. I will give you that.
I didn't even eat it because I was like, I'm not gonna carry the whole team and eat the whole thing. And then everyone's like, oh, Mars is crazy.
Yeah.
Why not, Mars? That doesn't put a target on your back at all.
That's not very orca of you.
Yeah.
And the last one, so Aston. So I love Aston, big fan of him, big supporter of him, and he's always been a fan of mine and watched my season and stuff. So I was so happy to see he got another chance and he did so well. But what was going on? Like the swap and the chaos, and there was the 3-3 tie and then a 2-2 tie, and people flip. I couldn't even keep up with what had gone on. So like, what is the chaos behind all of that stuff?
Oh god,
Maddie?
where do we start? Yeah, I'll say I'm looking at you, Maddie. I can't attribute to why it was 3-3.
I think
It was Janine as
again,
well. Hey.
Yeah.
Janine and Maddie and someone else voted
Mushy.
Mushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it was just so again, I took I've talked to Aston on the outside, and we don't talk that much on the outside, but I was like, oh, he's my friend, like he won't vote me out, like not thinking game sense. And I knew Bree was like good with the core 4. And I thought I was in that, but I really wasn't. I just kind of popped in and out when I, thought it was convenient, or that I would get some information, which clearly was not a good idea. But yeah, so it was honestly going to be one of us. Like we were 2 returnees. Like I was very vocal. Aston was vocal. Janine was a little bit more like, I would say, in the mix. Like she was kind of like a bit of a floater. Like she wasn't really like voicing as much as we were. So I knew it was going to be one of us. And then obviously I knew the core 4 were not going to vote for Aston. They were going to vote for me. So then I was like, well, I need to vote Aston. And Janine had been pushing Aston for a while, and I knew Mushy, I'd kind of gained her trust, and then I squashed it. But in saying that, I knew that she would probably vote with me as well, and then I could at least get it to a tie. And then the re-vote happened, and the same thing happened again. And I was just lucky that who was the first person that said a name? It was
I
Mushy.
think we all just turned around to Mushy. It's like, you're the one with immunity. You're
The power, yeah. Yeah, so Mushy essentially, if it had been anyone else that had gotten immunity, it could have changed the whole like dynamic of who went. Like I assume that if any of the core 4 got it, then I would have gone. But yeah, so it was just lucky that Mushy happened to get it. And I was just like, Mushy, remember what I've said to you? So I'm glad I put the work in with Mushy. Well, she was really the only person that was going to really align with me because she hadn't seen how nut job I was. And like running around, let's be real. And Janine was just like, I don't know, she just stuck by me, and then I cut her off as well. So to be honest, Mushy was my only hope. So if anyone else had gotten that, maybe if Janine got it, I would have been safe. But other than that, I think I was a...
Yeah,
see, to be honest, I'm genuinely shocked that vote even went to 3-3, because obviously remember, like you were pitching, that was the pitch of the Girls Alliance, right?
Yeah.
Like you wanted to bring me in and vote out one of Aston and Jordan. I'm sitting there like, oh fuck, that's picking between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to do that. But anyway, and then like you and I were trying to concoct the fake plan that we were telling Mushy.
Is this where I was mushy for mushy, or is this later?
Yes, you're mushy for mushy. Yes.
Yeah, mushy for
That was,
mushy,
that was a
whatever
whole
it was.
thing. Between Aston, Jordan, Maddie, and I, we were cackling for a good 10 minutes about mushy for mushy. It was ridiculous. But yeah, like by the time Mushy got immunity, none of us got the chance to talk. So I was sitting there like, shit, like, who am I going to vote? Like, because in my head, I was only voting Mushy. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
we all were.
The only name that I could think of that might get at least one other person behind it was Maddie, because before we even swapped, we said that you were going to go after Haley. And I'm like, oh, well, that's what I've got to stick with at this point, because I can't think of anything else. And then it turned out 3-3, and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
This was the fake 2-2-2 vote, right? That
Yes,
we told Mushy.
yes,
It was
yes.
two on Jordan, 2 on her, and 2 on Aston. I don't know why I came with this plan. And I was like, so then we're going to vote for like
lines. That was
yeah. And I remember talking to Aston. I was like, so I'm voting for I don't know. I mustn't have said Mushy. And he's like, no, you're voting for Mushy. Mushy's gotten in your head. And I was like, oh. He's like, the 2-2-2 isn't real. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
We're all voting for Mushy. So
I
yeah,
think that's just one thing that was super consistent in my game, was I managed to overcook fucking everything. Let's be honest.
Oh, the 2-2-2. I forgot about that for a minute. Yeah. That wasn't a real plan, was it? We were all voting Mushy, weren't we?
Speaking of, sorry, skipping to like the end of the game, but I just watched it like 2 hours ago. But the so there was the flip, like Anthea was trying to vote out Derek, was it, at the final 7?
Yes, at 7.
But then you like messed it up, and then it was like, what the hell? Like,
it wasn't just me that messed it up. I swear to God.
Then?
Yes, so it was Aston that got voted.
Because it was like 2 votes Derek,
It was
2 votes
3-2-2. So it was 3 votes
Anthea,
Aston, 2 votes Derek, 2 votes Anthea.
Yeah, and I was like, because people always get mad, like Anthea, and she said it herself, like later on in the game, the stereotype of like the older woman who doesn't get the strategic credit, and she was trying to make those moves, flipping on her allies, but then when she came to you just like didn't do it. So it's like, what the hell?
Okay. I need to clarify this very, very clearly. So I had gone off and done my desperation station. So I had a brief chat, and that was all I got. So I was finding out at Tribal Council. I was running around like a mad thing. I'd taken over from Maddie by this point. I was just Chaos Queen. And went around to everyone. I was like, okay, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Anyone could have lied to me. I don't know why I thought. I was clearly in a good mood. I was just like, yep, I'm safe. I don't care. I'm on top of the world. Let's see what trouble I can cause here. And according to that, it was 3-3. So clearly Jean had told me she was voting Derek. So in my head, I'm like, okay, it's 3-3. Therefore, what can I do to make sure that it's very clear going forward? Like, I need to break open this 4. That's ultimately what I need to do. Yes, Derek goes. If I vote Derek, that's fine. But it's all too easy to still make that a 3-3 on the next round, because it would be final 6 by that point. So I'm like, okay, I really need to just crack this right open, make Anthea's betrayal very obvious so that she can't just go running back. And I was like, if I do that, put one vote on Anthea because she can't vote for herself, it's still a 3-3-1. So then, therefore, on the re-vote, I would put my vote on Derek, and then he would still go. Little did I know that Janine, without even talking to her, had the exact same idea to some extent, because we both put down the same name. And I'm like, this hurts. Like, I don't know. I can't say I vividly watched my reaction at that tribal, because I was too busy struggling to relive it, because it was very painful. But yeah, I can't say I would have been very happy. Mind you, I wasn't very happy most of Merge.
Well, now you've explained it, that actually does have like merit to it, because if you
but I still overcooked it. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, because people, obviously everybody lies about, no, I didn't vote for you, which you can always lie about, but you literally cannot vote for yourself. So
Exactly.
that's actually, yeah, I actually give you credit for that. I wouldn't have probably thought about that, but that's could have been like 1,000 IQ, but
Yeah,
almost.
no. Once again, overcooked.
Yeah, so I do have some little notes here. So let me see. Or do you guys have anything like glaring you want to say? Because I know when I was in my tea party, I had my own like list of like shit or stuff I wanted to like, spill out and get out there. Have you guys got anything
I just
glaring?
want to hear more about the Melbourne boys, to be honest. Like, how did
Yeah,
that conversation
I just
come
feel like
about?
how hardcore
I'm still annoyed
that
I'm not
was.
part of the Melbourne crew, but that's fine.
You weren't on our swap tribe.
I was on the
Yeah,
merch tribe.
No, it's too late. We already made Melbourne boys. But yeah, I think
understand why you wouldn't have put me in there, but Brie, come on.
so yeah, like we had our swap tribe, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm in a minority. I got to make some connections. And I think it was just Derek and Will and I were just chatting, and we're like, oh yeah, we're all like kind of from Melbourne. Like I'm from Melbourne, and then Will used to live in Melbourne, and Derek's from Melbourne. So we're like, oh yeah, this is the Melbourne boys. Which I mean, I think Will was definitely on board with that, but Derek was just entertaining me. But yeah, I think honestly, I don't know what I was thinking post swap situation, because like I was in the minority, but I was like, nah, I can definitely pull people over and just come work with us so that we come into the majority. Like there was no way I was going to turn on people, and I think that's a kind of a silly move. Like I definitely did well forming the Melbourne boys, but like definitely I would have liked to jump ship at some point. That would have been fun and entertaining.
I did think that you and Will were kind of very similar. You're like the cute young guys, like the kind of muscle twinks fighting for like dominance in the challenges and stuff. I did like that kind of pairing. So yeah, I could see why you guys would get along. You're like kind of similar and stuff.
Yeah, and also I think because like even if, like I said, even though it was a whole year, it was still like fresh coming out of Melbourne Survivor, and like dominating challenges in Melbourne Survivor and being called like a challenge beast. That was still in my head, and coming into Canberra Survivor, and then you see Canberra Survivor, and I like just win one bonus immunity, and that's it. But I was in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm a big challenge beast, and I haven't won like anything. When I said that to the boys, I think Will had won one thing, and I was like, yeah, we're all challenge beasts. We all got to stick together. Makes no sense. But I was like, yeah. We're Melbourne boys got to stick together because we're challenge beasts.
Hey, any bond you can make, that's fine. I did have a little note. So Mars, you seem to be quite tight with Delhi, like pre-merge, but then you voted her out. So like what happened there?
So yeah, well, I mean, like I didn't know that at the start of the game, Delhi was the one who threw my name out, which is crazy because I think I would have considered her my number one ally post swap. And I think it was just I could see the writing on the wall at that tribal council that like one of us was going to go. I hoped that I had put in enough work into the Melbourne boys to make sure that I wasn't getting the votes. And actually, I voted for Mark instead of Delhi as like a last ditch effort. But yeah, so I didn't vote for her. I definitely wanted to work with her, and I think as much as I love Aston, I think Delhi's a lot more straight up, and I think I would have loved for her to come back into the game. I think that would have benefited my game a lot, because I think we definitely bonded over post swap situation. So yeah, I think whereas like a lot of you guys, you were like cheering Aston on to win that battle back, and I was like, Delhi, come on.
I was happy with either Aston or Dali by that point because, yeah, Dali and I did that first puzzle together at the very start, and like we were getting along really well as well. And at that first vote, Hayley did a last-ditch effort to try and round up Jordan Dally and I as an alliance. And by that point, the name had already fallen on Hayley. So I'm sitting there like, shit, I really would have loved to have had Jordan and I sit in the middle of 2 groups of 4, but can't do anything now, especially when my name's already out. So unfortunately, poor Hayley caught the brunt of it. But like Dally, Jordan and I are like this, like to the point where like I was at Jordan's body jam class this evening with Dally and we're danced and then they're doing all our dances and that sort of thing. So it would have been interesting if Dally had made merge, how she would have gone. Like, I don't know, Maddie, what were your interactions like with Dal?
I didn't get a lot from Dally, to be honest, and I think she was the one that threw my name out originally. No, I thought she threw my name out, but she didn't. I thought she threw my name out. But yeah, I think it would have, I don't know why I was cheering for Aston to come back because I literally just voted him out. So like I should have been cheering for someone like Hayley, even though she would have come back with a vengeance. But like, yeah, like that really, when I think about it, like that wasn't the best person for my game to come back, but it doesn't matter because whatever happened. But yeah, I didn't really talk a lot to Adele. That I can think of, like, and even in the edit, I didn't see a lot of time with me with Adele because I think I was just running from person to person. So I don't know that I really spent a lot of time with each individual building a connection. So yeah, but I think, yeah, if anyone else had come back, it would have definitely changed the game. But one person I did was like genuinely shocked by watching the game back was Mark and how he completely flipped to the other side. Like I was impressed. Like I just like looked at it and I was like, oh, the poor guy's like flipped so hard and they're going to vote him out. But like, what was the other option? You, Mars? Like, honestly, like when it was between the two of you, I was like, well, I can see why there was it you,
Mars had mutinied by that point. So Mark was literally the option. So it was either him or Mushy. And you just
and they weren't going to get rid of Mushy because Derek was close with Mushy and who else was close with Mushy? I can't even remember. But there was a few already that were connected with Mushy. Sorry. Getting confused here. But yeah, I was genuinely like shocked at like how well he like flipped.
Yeah, I reckon if Mark and I had both stayed on that tribe, I think I would have gone instead of him.
Yeah, because he was so loyal to the blue.
I think so. Like, I think I would have had Will vouching for me, but I think everyone else would have been like, nah, Mars is a lot shiftier than Mark. Mark's a lot easier to take as a number, I think.
Although sorry, Mars, I do need to entice this for a second. Say Mars goes and Mark enters merge. Maddie, how do you reckon that goes with Janine? Because all I noticed the whole pre-swap was how close Mark and Janine were. So I just wonder what that would have meant.
I would have had another person. What are we talking about?
Another person to turn on.
Exactly. I could have been like the, I don't know, MMJ or something like that. The triple MJ, me, Mushy, Mark and Janine. I would have had 4. You know, it would have been the 4 of us and we could have been the Buru Core 4 and then I wouldn't have been the outlier.
No, it would have been a completely different game by that point.
Oh, completely different. Like there would have been absolute chaos. I think Mark would have had a straight head, but I think I just would have just bounced more crazy ideas of him or just cut him off, one or the other. I don't know.
He was also sounding very loyal blue. So I'm like, really, like he would have been in such a strong position. It's actually crazy.
I think he would have. I don't think he would have come near me with like a 10-foot pole. He would have been like, no, she's crazy. But I did enjoy Mars like egging on the like tribal argument. That was great.
I just wanted the TV. So like that was great.
That's what we want.
No, I'm glad Mark got brought up because I literally was like, we need to give him a little mention because he honestly agree with everything you guys said. Like he was really like tribe strong. Like I'm done with the other people. Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
But the thing is, he did it so well. Like my first impressions, he was the loveliest guy. Like he was the other one I did the puzzle with. And like we're walking back and we're talking about his daughters. And I'm like, oh, you know, I could really easily get a relationship going here with Mark. Like I'm feeling good here. And then he got swapped. So I'm like, I wonder if I would have maybe expected something there with him, like post, like coming into merge as well. Like I'm just like, he literally would have had the whole game at his fingertips. It's crazy.
But it also would have switched things up because if Mars was voted out, Mars possibly wins the battle back instead of Aston.
Yeah.
And that would have been all different too.
There wouldn't have been a core 4 for you to pick on, Maddie.
Look, I will just vouch for myself here. I did at one point say Mars needs to go and Will needs to go, and nobody went with me, even though I was crazy about it. I was like, Mars needs to go, runs to the next person, Will needs to go, but nobody would go with me.
Unfortunately, Maddie, my mentality coming into merge was, okay, red are that many people up. We need to get rid of a red so we can open the game up and not make it so OG tribal alliance. So I was like, I'll offer Maddie up as an alternative and see.
And so then I went Geordie.
And at that point, like it was, the Buru core 4, and we were trying to leverage Mars's connections with so who's not the Queen, Eden? We're trying to leverage Mars's connections with Will and Derek at that point. So yeah, from there, like, I mean, if theoretically they wanted to work with us, that would have been numbers, no problemo. But I just remember running around that whole round being like, we do not have the numbers here. I don't know about y'all. Ooh.
This is the tea.
You're done. Eden's just jealous because I
Bring
did it.
Eden on this.
Sorry, Eden.
I believe Eden's actually watching. He's on a different time zone.
Toxic twink behavior, seriously. Nah, I love Eden.
Well,
Queen.
Bree, I had a question for you because one of my, I wouldn't say regret, but I think one play that I would have loved to do was the challenge just before merge, where I mutinied and then we won that one, the slingshot one.
Yes.
I think would have been so fun if I threw that challenge. I don't know how I would have done that, but if I threw that challenge,
you were the only one that was managing to get the slingshot going in any form of direction, so you could have very easily have thrown it. I'm not even.
I was tired. I was like, oh, I just want to get to the next day. But I wonder if I threw that challenge and we went to tribal instead, would we? I guess we would stick with our core 3.
Yeah, so Jordan, you and I would vote out one of Janine and Maddie, right?
Yeah.
Well, we know who's going then. Like, let's be real. Because Janine could go either way for you guys, so it probably would have made me. And then I wouldn't have lived out my merge dream, and I would be very upset with both of you.
But then we get Mark in the merge, which would be very interesting.
That would be interesting, but not for my story.
Honestly, I'm just trying to think where I was at that point, and we had lost that many challenges in a row that we just got to, like, I don't know, Maddie, where you were at, but I was just like, we just need to win one. I just need to sit down and like chill.
We were Delulu at that point. Like, it was just like
Delulu the whole freaking game. Let's be honest. I'm not even going to deny it. Like
100%. We were like, at that point, we had just literally just been like going to tribal, and like that's when I thought I lost like 30 hours of footage or something crazy like that. And
I've
still
still got
my
voice
phone, and I was like, I've lost all this footage. And then I just remember Ben looking at me, who was like our tribe leader, and was like, what do you mean you've lost 30 hours of footage? And like then the whole mushy for mushy, mushy for mushy thing happened. Like it just felt like one thing after another.
New rocks experience. Like we were just done for the day. We're like, what do you mean we're doing another challenge in the pitch black? Like what?
Like I love a scramble, but I was done scrambling. Like that was enough for one day. Although I'd love to do it again.
I was literally at the point where I'm just like so done for the day, and then the mutiny got thrown up, and I just remember looking because I was down one end holding the flag, and I think you were holding the flag down the other end, Mars. I just remember looking at you being like, "Get your fucking ass over here right now!"
I was like, I'm holding the flag. I gotta give the flag to someone.
I don't know. If you hadn't a mutiny though, Mars, what would have happened in that case then?
Well, I mean,
would you have just gone home?
If we lost, I probably.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, what are
I
you saying?
remember
Wait a
just
second.
like handing
Mark's
the flag
saying
off.
maybe if Mars didn't put his hand up, that Mark would.
Mhm.
Did he say that at some point? I feel like
I think like I don't know. This is not coming from Mark directly, but I did hear that Mark may have not heard correctly how the mutiny worked, potentially.
Okay.
But I knew that like I waited until the very last second to mutiny because
okay.
otherwise it would be such a bad look to be like both of us step forward, but then Mars needs to still stay back in his OG tribe, and now it's like, oh, he's not loyal, and he's back at our tribe, and we're going to try.
Yeah, because it was as many people as you wanted could go up, and then like if it was more than one person, you had to go to rocks to decide who went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look, maybe that would have been a great move for me. Maybe I should have mutinied. Then no one would have known how crazy I was, and I could have pulled like a full straight like.
But that would have kept
And then
Mushy
you
on
go
our
over to Blue,
tribe.
and then you
Like,
get voted out there.
Yeah, true. Could have been just voted out straight away. They just would have been like, oh, this crazy one.
that
No,
would have
but
kept
like
Mushy
they
in our
wouldn't have
tribe,
known.
which is interesting.
Yeah. And then what would have happened if you'd kept Mushy? Would you have just voted her out next though?
Probably. I think the challenge would have been thrown at that point.
Yeah. So many things that could have happened.
So I have a question. So about this Brie only aligning with men situation.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get things straight, you know. What is the real story? Do you enjoy the company of women in a survivor sense, not anything else? You know, that's the after tea party. We won't discuss that here.
Just remember we're friends now, Brie. Just FYI.
Okay. This is what I am going to say. Like, I feel like everyone goes through their life experiences. And for me personally, between primary school, high school, different clusters of friends, I've always just managed to find myself in very toxic friendships with women. And it just, for one reason, XYZ things, whether it be me and someone else directly, or even just other girls within the group of girls that have been going at it with each other. It's just never been healthy. And I've been always the chick that loves watching sport and just, I mean, you look at, who was it? Will talking to Ben being like, I've got no idea how to speak to Simon. That's me half the time with like, I don't know how to speak to women because I don't freaking know. Like, I'm not the girly girl that sits there and paints her nails and does her makeup and all that shit. Like, I'm the one that's like, I'm the one that travels to Paris a couple of years ago just for the Olympics, and I'm just sports nuts. So I think it is rough. It really is rough. Like, guys, you sort of know what to expect, whereas girls, it's so easy for them to just go behind your back and just do shit. And it's just, girls don't play fair. Let's put it that way. But I do have to say, genuinely, since 4 maybe, but probably more so since I moved up to Canberra. So that's about 18 months ago now. Like, I feel like I have got so many good friendships, and not even just friendships, like just female role models at work and that sort of thing. Like, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of finding your people. And I think that's what I've sort of realized is that initially, subconsciously, I knew that was always a thing with me. Like, but it's just a matter of like, as I said, like primary school, high school, that sort of things, you're sort of forced into those social situations and you're forced to do what you can to sort of just get through those years. Whereas now, being through all that, like, it's a matter of you choose who your friends are, like, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think just coming into season 4, I literally say I'm a wild card because like I was alternate. I wasn't meant to be playing. I was sort of like, let's just see who shows up. Let's see who I work with. And then Girls Alliance thrown around. I'm like, okay, cool. Yep, we'll roll with it if that's what happens. And then I've got Miss Maddie going after me and I'm just like, oh, yeah, here I am living my worst nightmare as per usual. All right, I'm just going to stick to what I know. And that's just
you know why happened. I did go for you though, Brie? Because you literally was like straight away aligned. Like, I could see what was forming and I was like, I want to be that. Why is she able to do that and I can't?
But
like,
this is the problem with female friendships. We get jealous of one another when we should be having each other's back and supporting each other.
Brie. I was like, this girl, she's got her finger in all the pies, and I'm standing there like by myself with Janine, luckily, the only person that would speak to me.
Can I
I
just
don't know why
say what
she
a polar can I just say what a polar opposite this season has been to season 3 of Canberra, where like all the girls are running the town and we're just here like, rah!
Honestly, I was so well aligned in 3 with Bethany and Eden. Like without them, I would have been just like nothing. Like, and then I am without them, and I was nothing. Like,
Hang on, no. You were plenty on your own, Maddie. Don't you worry.
Oh,
You were
too
forced
much.
to
Don't worry, you were a lot.
too much. But yes, I agree, Brie. Like it is sometimes difficult with female friendships. But yes, as much as I was like, Girls Alliance, and I was like, let's go, Brie. Girls Alliance, let's go, Return Girls. Girls Alliance, do you trust any of them? No. So I don't know how real.
we pinky promised each other like 3 times throughout the game, being like, we're not going to vote each other out. Next opportunity. Oh yeah, let's do it. Like,
Yeah.
guess what? Like you threw out my name, and then like we sort of reconciled just before going to that tribal where we voted out Haley.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, no, we're just gonna be chill. We're gonna be good. In my head, I'm thinking we're voting out Maddie next if we go to tribal again. We swap, and I sort of let it go flat. And then we have a conversation at some point, must be just before the Mushy Chaos vote, where I'm like, we're going to bring out the inner villains. We're going to cause chaos together. It's going to be so good. And I genuinely wanted to work with you at this point. I don't think you wanted to work with me, though. Like, it just, throughout the whole game, it was either one
Janine
was wanting to work with the other, one trusted the other.
Yeah, Janine didn't want to work with you either.
Janine,
so it was like, that's my one ally.
Unfortunately, Janine and I just didn't really get the chance to talk much. And I found that, especially in the end game, I had that problem with a lot of people. But yeah, Janine, like, especially pre-swap, she was the person I spoke to the least.
Yeah.
And
I have a question for you. Did you think Brie was your number 1 or Delhi?
Oh, I like at the start, I would say either Brie or Aston. Like Aston and I were pretty tight, and I think we were in a good position at the start where we had the core 4, but I think we also had another 4. I can't remember who exactly that was. But
yeah, it was with Janine and Maddie, wasn't it? Or Janine and Mark or something, right?
Yeah, I think it was actually like Janine, Maddie, Mark, and us too. And we were like, oh, we can just like choose which way to go.
Sorry to cut you off, Brie.
No.
I don't know.
That's what I wanted to do with Haley. Like, I wanted to do the Dally, Jordan. Like, everyone has their, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then, like, the game sort of falls as it falls and twists happen. And you got to play the twists as much as you play to your allies and that sort of thing. And the game obviously falls one way or another after that, right?
Honestly, it was just funny going into Ponderosa, and then, like, they're like all 3 of the guys, like, yeah, Brie was my number 1. And Brie was like, no, Jordan was my number 1.
That was the funniest thing about it was like I walk into Ponderosa and the first question I get asked is all 3, like Mars, Aston and Jordan are all just standing there being like, so who was actually your number 1? And I'm just sitting there like, well, it was definitely Jordan. Like, what? And like, because like, I mean, Aston came up to me, I'm convinced it was pre-swap. And he was literally like to me, oh, I don't trust Mars. And in my head, I knew exactly who you were, Mars. And I'm just like, I don't fucking trust him for shit anyway. But I've got to be careful about what I say to Aston here. Because obviously we've got this group of 4. I'm trying to hold it together. So I'm just like, I know. But if he's going to go on, I think he was worried you were going to cause chaos. He could just see you being mischievous. And in the end, I turned around to him and I was like, look, if he's going to cause chaos, if we're aligned with him, he's more likely to cause chaos in our favor. So we're better off having him around. Even though he might not be trustworthy, you know that he's going to rely on us at some point. So you'd rather keep him around rather than someone you know that's most certainly not going to. So at this point, I'm literally the glue of this freaking alliance. Like, Jordan, I mean, you talk about how close you were with Aston, and like I feel like both of you were sort of like, oh, Jordan's just there, but Bree's close with him, so we're just going to treat him as part of the alliance. He's a guy that could win challenges. Like, I don't know, Mars, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like you were definitely the glue of our core 4 alliance, and I think
someone's
like
going to keep the boys in line.
Yeah, again, like Maddie, like you were asking who's my number one. Like I think I would have worked most closely with Brie, but I don't believe in a ride or die. I
Yeah.
strongly don't agree with that idea of I'm going to stick with you to the end because that's just stupid gameplay.
So
Actually, that's why when
Yeah.
Jordan went, I didn't really pick one after that because I was just like, no. I could see the way my game was very easily boxed in by going down that path. And already in my head, because like I love Jordan, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but it would have been so difficult to boot him at Final Four, which was going to be my plan. And I was like, I can't do that to someone else. And then I think at Final 8, during that tile flipping challenge, you come up to me, Mars, and you're like, let's make a Final 3 pact. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, why not? But at the same time, like I couldn't stop anyone's name. I can't remember if I think I knew you were getting voted out at that point. I'm just like, well, I'm going with what I know. If we go to Rocks, we go to Rocks. And then apparently no one in my alliance wanted Rocks, which we all saw my reaction after that.
I think at that point, I didn't know if I had numbers. I didn't know if my name was getting thrown out. I was just having a great time. And I think making packs left, right, and center was just a way to like ensure that I was in someone's plan.
How many packs did you make in the end then?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, at the start, I had the final 2 packed with Haley. I had the Melbourne boys, I guess, which was like a alliance, not really a pact. I had, I guess, our final 3 packed. We had a merge pact with Will, Anthea, and I. And I feel like there was more, but it was like I don't think it's good gameplay just to like say no to anyone who's offering you like a pathway to a final 3 or whatever. So yeah, I was just saying yes to everything. I was having a great time, and I would have loved to go on to Rocks, or like actually my idea was never actually to go to Rocks on that vote though. When I got voted out, my
because you
plan
managed
was,
to convince Will to vote Janine, right? Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, I think I was just like constantly in Will's ear that whole round, just like, you got to make a move, you haven't done anything, you got to make a move. and I was like, oh, maybe he's actually going to do something. And then so the idea was to do a 4-3-1 on Anthea, I think.
That would have been crazy, a 4-3-1.
Because we didn't have enough split votes that season.
Too many. Actually, nah, it's never enough. You can always have more. But I do have some questions. So casting is always, very juicy to talk about. So your season, so Brie, you mentioned that you were an alternate for this season earlier. And also there was the uneven balance of returnees and newbies, which is, a bit suspicious. And not gonna lie, even I heard on the TU grapevine that there was maybe other returnees, one I've heard of that was meant to be there and dropped out like last minute. Yeah, can you guys discuss any of that? Because I don't know, I don't want to get in trouble, but
all right, I'm gonna spill some actual tea. I high key found out that there was pre-merge returnees a couple of days before the game. So who is that? At this point,
don't reveal your sources. Come on.
No, okay, I won't reveal my sources. That's probably a smart idea. Yeah, insert someone's name told me while I was staying at their place the night before I drove up to Canberra. And I was just sitting there the whole time thinking and absolutely petrified that Blake Banfield was going to return. Because Banfield and I have known each other, like we met on the US org, so like we've known each other since like late 2018, early 2019, and we were friends. But then we weren't friends, and there's a long story to that, which I don't think this podcast needs to go through. If you want the tea offline, I'm happy to give it. And then, I was told that there was returnees from pre-merge, and my mind just goes, oh, crap, he played. Oh, crap, he was pre-merge. Oh no, the whole concept of like, oh my God, I'm going to have to repair this relationship somehow on live television. Oh, I was freaking out. I didn't know what the fuck I would have done if he was there, to be quite frank with you. So the fact that he wasn't there, I was very relieved. But then I saw Rose and I went, oh my God, I forgot she even played. Because Rose played that same trial of Melbourne Survivor that I did. And just I feel like I'm going on this bumble and bamble of, that's not really English, of stories now.
Go for it.
That's how I kept saying that Rose was a troublemaker when I booted her? That was because in this Newport trial, we got swap screwed together, and I was trying to pitch Rose's name, and I was going to completely flip on my original tribe and vote out Rose. But unfortunately, in the majority for was Rose's aunt, and I didn't know this. And of course, that was not going to go down very well, and I proceeded to get booted. So during that whole round, I was just living a deja vu scenario, being like, I cannot have Rose go. I cannot have Rose save her ass again. She just needs to go right now. And then, like, I really wanted to work with her. And then she's throwing Aston and my name and going around saying, these are the leaders, these are the ones in good positions at that tribal. And I'm like, I've had enough of this. I can't for my own sanity at this point. Rose needs to go. I could not deal with it any longer. But
wow.
I don't know.
Do you know who the player was that you were an alternate for? Like, is it someone known in the community?
I've heard several people dropped out and several people came in. One of them, I'm not going to say that.
Come on.
One of them you may see somewhere at some point. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know more than I do.
Well, okay, I'll spill my tea if you won't spill yours. So I heard that it was, meant to be, because wait, your season, was it 7 returnees, 9 newbies?
Yes.
Yeah. So
but what does Mars count as? He was technically
a
returning.
I'm a secret attorney.
Yeah, he counts as a newbie technically. But I heard that Janine, I forgot her name, but Janine's daughter was meant to be the person. That's what I heard, but I don't know how true that is. So
I've heard that at one point as well, and I think she definitely would have at one point. But I have also heard that she was pregnant at that point, so she was very early on cut, as in like just said no. Oh, I'm trying to think who else they asked.
Who would another like pre-merge girl be then if she was cut early?
I reckon they would have asked Squin, but I don't think the timing worked for her. But
I feel like they would have
like I'm putting words in. Yeah, I don't want to be putting words in her mouth.
Content.
Love Squin.
Yeah.
I love Squin too. I wish she had played as well. Like that just would have been like so crazy because like obviously when I played with her in 3, it was between her and I who was going to go. So I would have loved to have seen that dynamic. But then again, I could have read the whole situation wrong.
Squin was cool.
I would have loved to have seen Amy as well.
Yeah. At the finale, at the finale party, I looked at Rose when Janine said something thinking that was her daughter and then realized that Rose was not Janine's daughter and was like, oh, no. So I looked at Rose, I was like, ah! And then she kind of just looked at me like, I don't know if she picked up on it, but I definitely picked up on it after I did that.
We love that. And was there, like, were you guys talking about it in game of like, why is there only 7? Like, is something happened? Or like, did you just kind of, because then also there's the point of like, one of the tribes is now like the returnees were disadvantaged, because you could say returnees versus newbies 4v4, let's go to rocks. Now one of them's at a disadvantage. Was there talk of like that being unfair or anything like that?
I mean, it definitely came into my head in terms of strategy. That's kind of another reason why I didn't want to align with the returnees in our original tribe.
Did you think the returnees would gang up on the newbies eventually?
I think so. They would be like, "Oh, we're outnumbered. We got to stick together and vote a newbie out."
Look, I did picture returnees alliance. I did. I'm not gonna lie. But Hayley didn't want a bar of it. Not that I knew that. She was like, "Oh, okay," but like she was not on it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Hayley turned around she must have been one of the first people I spoke to once we knew we were going to tribal, and she was just like, "Oh, I'm just happy to sacrifice one of the returnees," and I just went, "What? Okay." Yeah. All us newbies were like, "Oh, we don't give a shit as long as it's not us. Like, let's go along with whatever."
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense if you're like in the minority anyway. Like you haven't really built any strong in-game bonds if you're in like a 3v5. So like it's good to sacrifice a returnee so that your threat as a returnee isn't as big.
Yeah.
I think the thing that was funniest for me though was at the marooning, like and that like obviously Dan and Liv were trying to play off the whole like because there was 11 of us on a starting match, like, and we're like, I can't remember who said it. Someone said as we were on the mat or walking over, like, "Oh, what do you mean there's only 11 of us?" That like, I suppose that could work. And I'm in my head like, no, I've just looked over and seen Aston getting his cast photos taken. Like, there's more of us. They're just hiding them away.
Aston
like,
is the worst, okay, with that kind of stuff. Because I remember I was like in my little sectioned area, and all I hear is everyone got an iPhone charger, and like they were coming through and just asking you like really quietly. Aston's like, "I have a Samsung," and I was like, "I know exactly who that is." He's like, "I have a Samsung," and they're like trying to organize a Apple phone for him, and I was just like, "Oh, I know exactly whose voice that is." But yeah, sorry to put shit on Aston then, but like straight away I knew it was him. But that was really like they were pretty good at like sectioning us away. Like when people walked out, like I genuinely was like shocked. Like I didn't actually know who was walking out other than Aston because of his Samsung incident.
Yeah, so we're on the starting mat and there's 11 of us, and I'm just like, nah. They're trying to play off here that this is the game, and I'm like, nah. This is Survivor Canberra. This is not.
And who were you like, just quickly, like person you were like, okay, I'm happy to see them, I'm not happy to see them?
Simon,
like
Aston, that was, yeah. I was happy to see.
Or happy?
No, happy. Big smile. I was happy to see Anthea as well, but I was also like, is she going to work with me? So, yeah. Like Janine, I didn't really know much about. Like I couldn't remember her game because she played season 1. Hayley, like I know she'd had a rough trot, although it would have been great if she'd made the merge after that long stint in the the grass. Is it the Grasslands of Gloom or was that 3? Oh, yeah.
No, Grasslands of Gloom.
Oh, Swamp of Sadness is 3. So I think it would have been a great storyline if Hayley had gotten through, but she wouldn't have. I don't know who she would have worked with. Definitely not me.
I think she would have worked with
all
blues.
Blues, yeah. See, not strategic.
She really cared. She was like, "I'm going with blue."
We burnt her too badly.
How desperate would you have been, Mars, to have to work with me? Like, was I like the last person you would work with?
I just like, I don't think I could have a proper strategic chat with you.
Sorry, Josh, I just cut you off. I just need to know how badly he would work. Like, how bad would it have to be to work with me?
Fly in, yell, like, "What are we doing?" And then just fly out. And I'm like, do you want to actually chat properly?
No, I love it. No, I was just going to say, and then same question, but to Mars and Bree, like, who were you excited to see? Who were you not excited? Bree, you probably know half of the people from online and stuff. So.
Honestly,
Rose,
I was horrendous. I hadn't done my homework. I was too busy doing my homework on the latest seasons of Australian Survivor rather than the seasons of Canberra. I had no idea until I was told 2 days before the game that it was returnees, and I'm just like, oh, I'm ill prepared. I'm just treating everyone like everyone else. And then I saw Rose and went, okay, at least I know how Rose plays. She'll either want to work with me and it'll work out. I think I was more relieved that she wasn't on my starting try, because I was like, okay, I can just. My big thing coming into season 4, and a big reason why I didn't play a lot of the games before this, hi Kitty, was I just really wanted a fresh start where I knew as little people as possible, and just wanted to give it a good crack and just see genuinely how would I go with like meeting people for the first time and just see how it went. So I saw Rose and I was like, okay, I know someone. It's going to be one of those games, but at the same time, she was on the other tribe. So I'm like, okay, I can fresh start this. I can establish myself. I can do whatever I need to do. And then if we swap together, well, we'll see what happens. And yeah, we then swap together, and I don't even speak to her for the first round until it comes to the round we actually eventually vote her out. And we're all like, oh, long time no see, like giddy as fuck. And like, you could just tell talking to her that she knew exactly what was going on. And I'm like, well, you can either choose to work with us or you don't. And she chose not to. And I'm like, well, bye-bye. But other than that, I knew Maddie, but I didn't click that Maddie was Maddie.
I knew who Brie was
afterwards. Yeah, so much for being a newbie, right? But then again, I say that, but I knew who Mars was. So, like, he wasn't really a newbie
I think
either.
Mars should have been marooned as a returnee.
I was like in my head, like, oh yeah, these guys don't know nothing. I have played before. I've got the upper hand. Nah.
No. But otherwise, I think Aston's name rang a bell in terms of like just seeing him in and around online. But I didn't know enough, or I hadn't really interacted with him, because I think post-COVID in particular, I took a bit of a step back from the community because like I was doing full-time masters and 2 jobs. Like I just didn't have time to play games or do any of that sort of stuff. And like, Mars, you can relate being in Melbourne, but being in the lockdown capital of the world, it just made me like, I don't want to be glued to my phone 24/7. So I just took this massive step away from the community. And like, I think I knew deep down that if I ever wanted to play something, that would probably be the best thing for me, is to take that little bit of a step back, and then I might actually be considered as a genuine option later on. And here we are. The rest is history.
Did you guys train for season 4?
I was planking a lot, which actually did help.
It
It won me
did.
that challenge.
Yeah.
Brie, did you train?
I only found out I was playing like 4 or 5 weeks before the season. And at that point, I was just like, okay, if I do too much, I'm just going to overthink everything. I'm just going to go about my business and then just show up on the day, because like there's only so much you can prepare for a game. Like you can prepare challenge-wise, but I just knew that like if I was going to be social, I was going to be strategic. Like I don't want to appear to be a jack of all trades. Otherwise, I will actually go straight away. So I was just like, I was going to try and lay low. And then you recognize me and I'm like, fuck, here we go. I can't just act like I don't know anything about Survivor. But anyway.
Maddie, did you train?
I did train. I went into orgs, guys. I went into orgs, and then after I got kicked out of 3, I went and played Malviver and was the first boot. And it was like one where you like didn't get like fully booted, but you could go and collect tokens. And I read the map wrong, and like I came back before after the timer went off, and like it was just it's not great training. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible. But I did play a lot of orgs, and I'm currently playing one right now, and I haven't played one in years, and I'm frothing it. But anyway,
what are you playing?
I'm just playing one of Praddy's games.
Is it the Deception Island?
Yeah,
I'm in the viewers lounge for that.
Yes, because I was
back up on the goss.
You do. I was meant to play a UK Survivor, and then I broke my arm, so I didn't get to play that. But
I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah. So who played? Felix played. If anyone knows Felix.
Yeah.
Michael Canberra. He's on the next one.
I told him to apply. I wanted him to take my spot when I broke my arm, but they wanted a female.
He can count. That's fine. He'll love that.
Oh, I love that he got on season 2. I was so sad I couldn't play.
Rooting for him. We love him. Yeah, I wanted to just say, because I've got all the time in the world, but I think maybe other people don't. But quickly, like, you guys, like, how you got voted out, how do you feel about that? I know there were like some craze. There was a lot of like, I don't know, 4-2-1-1, 2-1-1, like all this stuff going on. Like, how do you guys feel in reflection about how you were voted out? And like, what could you have done differently, or do you think your time was up, kind of thing? Mars first.
I mean, for me, at that point, I don't think my head wasn't like that strategically in the game. I think I was there to have a good time. I was there to make some entertaining content. And I think I just wanted something to happen. I didn't want it to be a boring rest of the game. So I was actually, I'm happy the way that I went out. I mean, it would have been fun to go to Rocks and go get rocked out or something. But I'm just glad that like something happened and Aston flipped and that kind of changed the game a little bit. I'm happy with the way that I went out. Happy that I got to the jury. I think it was just a fitting exit for a chaotic season.
And are you good with Aston now? Because you were tied in the game, but you did have, it almost reminded me a bit of you and Ash from Uncharted Waters a little bit, like you were besties, but then you had a bit of this rivalry kind of thing. But you're good with Aston now, or?
I'm good with everyone. We're chill. I think, I'm I mean,
Aston's even good with me.
Maddie and I
love
like
it.
like this. Like I said, ride or die suck. It's stupid. So I think anyone that I'm aligned with, I always assume that they're going to turn on me at some point. So it's just about that timing of when do you cut them. So props to Aston for cutting me first. Yeah,
fair. Love that.
But,
agree.
Yeah, honestly, when I was getting voted out, I thought I was running that tribe. I thought I was like, well, I got Will doing what I told him to. And I got people.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mars, in the end game, what would you have done? Like, say you survived 8, like, who were you booting first? Like,
I mean, like, in my head, people would just flip and not flip back, so they would just stick with me, which is not the best thinking. But I was like, okay, well then, if Will flipped with me, then I've got Will, and then I'll kind of just like. Yeah, pick off the edges. So I mean, I just wanted Anthea gone. I don't think that we ever would have worked together properly. Like I know we made so many pacts that we would work together, and we had that 6 alliance that never happened. But yeah, I was like, I don't see Anthea ever working with me, and so. Yeah, but as in like who would I pick off from our core 4?
Yeah, or Will, or like who was going when? Because as you say, you align with us, but you weren't gonna keep any of us.
No, man,
I was
not thinking that far ahead. Like, I was like,
clearly you were taking us to the end, Brie and I. Like, clearly.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you were out at that point, so I was like,
you're bringing me back.
There's no way that I would have. I feel like I would have kept you, Brie, for a little bit longer, but I think at some point you would have been smart enough to take me out. But I think we were very closely aligned, as in like we were both on the bottom, that we had to kind of stick together at some point. But then
absolutely.
I knew once I got a bit more leverage, then I would cut you. Aston, yeah, I mean. I think I always just took it like round per round. So like whatever the vibes were at that point. I think I was like slowly just trying to pull Will in to be like, come to the dark side. Come work with me. Which kind of worked, but like, yeah, not as well as I hoped.
And what about you, Maddie?
I think this one didn't hurt as much as the first one. Like the first one stuck with me for ages.
Because this was like a 2-1-1, right?
Yeah. So if someone
Like,
else just
that's crazy. I'm
voted
looking at my notes, I'm
2-2,
like, is that real?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
actually,
sorry, that's another one I overcooked.
That
I'll come
is-
back to that, but
barely
No.
even got voted out. Like that is actually
that's what I
one of
mean.
the
Like if
highest
someone
votes
else,
you can have in Survivor history. Like honestly,
yeah. So if someone had actually voted like the right name, then it would have like been a 2-2 split. And then, well, look at me talking strategy. Been a 2-2 split, and then I potentially could have gone again, and like we could have voted again, and then gone to rocks. There could have been so many scenarios, but I'm surprised I didn't get more angry about that like ages ago or like when it came out. But I didn't. I was just happy that I got to merge because that was my number one goal. But I think it hurt in season 3 because obviously it's your first game. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like why did they vote me out? And I had all these like identity questions. I was like, what did I do? What was it about me? I was like, why did they do that? But I think 3, I was just too open again. And I was like, oh yeah, I voted Aiden, but really I saved Aiden and just didn't portray that very well. So I think, yeah, because it wasn't like a landslide, I was okay about it. But being a 2-1-1 was pretty rough too. Like I was like, oh, like really? 1 vote? Like, so, but yeah, you live and you move on.
yeah.
And being
And
on the
Brie?
jury was fun in Pondy. That was a lot of fun.
yeah.
I was a bit crazy in there too. I had a whiteboard and like we were all like, yeah, it was a bit much.
We are never going to see that
There's
unreleased
theory
footage.
one going.
There's
No, never
some
see that
wild,
footage.
wild stuff on that whiteboard.
We were hyped up on sugar.
And Brie, what about you? I mean, 5th place, an iconic placing. So you know, it is a thing in LRGs that there is like a iconic fifth place Rob Goddess like theme.
yeah.
I mean, I keep it going because that was me. But yeah, welcome to the club. How does it feel?
Oh God, I just feel like season 4 was such a roller coaster. Like you go from pre-merge and like I had everything set up and it was all going well and all I needed to do was make the bonds in the merge and then shit at the fan on the first vote with Jordan going and I just went, okay, we're going to go the chaos move. Well, it's not even the chaos move at that point. It just goes out of control after that. But I just remember turning around after the Jordan boot being like, thank you for getting out my closest ally. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I don't give a shit about Mars and Aston. I don't care. I'm here for whatever. I'll do whatever. Like, let's go. And then I end up in a group of 6 with Mars and Aston. But yes, apologies, Maddie. I am very much so responsible for the cooking of your vote. I didn't know you were the one copying the votes, but Aston failed to tell me that he had an extra vote. But during the plank challenge, Aston and I both got out very early. So we were just strategizing. And he told me he had a vote in the second round. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't remember you having a vote in the second round, but cool. All right. That means like there was 3 names that there was 3 people that hadn't voted. So I was like, okay, Aston and I are 2 of them. Cool. We can do whatever we want. And we ultimately wanted to get Nat out. But Nat had her idol. So we were like, okay, we need to flush the idol. What can we do? And at this point in my head, I'm like, there is 3 people that are voting. Let's make it a 1-1-1. If Nat flushes her idol, great. We'll just vote out Anthea, which is, I think, who Aston put down. I still don't know why he put down Anthea in the end because that ended up shooting the 6 in the foot. But anyway, that's Aston. But then if Nat didn't play the idol, well, we were voting her and we're going to get her on the revote. No, it was an extra vote. It was 2-1-1. The moment, because I vividly remember when it was 1-1-1, because they were the 3 that were read out first. Dan goes 1 vote left, and I think I literally yell out, "What do you mean?" And then Aston's like, "Shush!" And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? And then I proceed to get told later, "Oh no, I had an extra vote." I'm like, you didn't think to tell me this, you know, as one of your allies who was actually trying to do something with you? No. So I cooked that one. And then it's funny because, Mars, you keep saying that you wanted to boot Anthea on your boot. But I was like, no, at this point, I'd put so much time and effort into Anthea. I wanted to save Anthea, so I wanted to go to Rox. And in the situation of Rox, both you and Anthea would have been safe. So that was why. That was my. Like, once again, the mind was. I was playing 4D chess apparently, but yeah. When Anthea asked me, "Oh, why did you vote for me in the next round?" I was like, "No. I literally thought we were going to Rox, so I put you down because I knew you would be safe in a situation of Rox." And then, of course, that's why she thought she had enough trust in me to work with me at 7. And then I freaking cooked that one as well. I think this is a story of my whole merge. It's like I had a plan; it was going to be all great, and then something hits the fan.
Yeah, you kind of cooked everything. You should maybe apply for MasterChef instead of Survivor.
Yeah, I clearly was on the wrong show. But yeah, I think like I got a vote in the double. I think in the first of the doubles when Mushy went, I think Jean threw a stray vote on me. And I mean, Mars and Aston pointed out after that, like they're like, "Oh, Bree's a bit paranoid," and I'm like, well, I feel like watching it back, I was almost vindicated watching it back because every single vote after that, I am a constant name, and it's not like oh, she's an option. It's like, no, it's her or him that goes, like. So yeah, I felt very vindicated. And so then Desperation Station rolls around. Oh my god. that was a whole thing.
Great.
That was a whole thing.
When you were standing there like holding it hostage. I thought that was iconic. That's something I would do. But what scared me though is you, like, I would have had my hand like literally, so I'd just go like that. But you had your hands
the netball moves were there. I was protecting it.
No, but the others, there was at one point when I think it was like Derek, Will, and Anthea were all there. And if I was them and it was like my season, I would have just freaking snatched it and I would have been a bitch. So I was like, I was scared that you were letting them get so close because I would have been like, get away from me because I'm grabbing it. Like, seriously.
I think they were like trying to.
It was good content.
I'm trying to remember. They were trying to convince me not to take it rather than them taking it off me. So I think like whilst I was paranoid as fuck at that point, I mean, Anthea couldn't take it off me, so it was either Derek or Will at that point. And I figured it would be in both of their best interests to take it at the next vote. Because I figured, like, and that's why in the end, like, I was like, oh, do I take it at this one or do I take it at the next one? And, like, I'm like, no, I've got to take it now because that'll mean whether I get it, whether I don't get it, because no one had done the puzzle at this point and been safe as a result, that I would be an option at Final 6. Little did I know I'd managed to complete a unscramble in, what was it, 8 seconds or something ridiculous. But like I was well and truly on borrowed time at this point. And the amount of conversations I've had post game in terms of if I did this at 7, if I did this at 6, if I did this, like where things could have gone, I think the bottom line is yes, I would have gone another round, but how much further would I have actually gone? Like in my head, like I sort of go, oh, Final 4, Michelle Fitzgerald puzzle. Oh, that would have been really cool. I reckon it would have been a good chance at that. But then you don't really know unless you're there actually doing it on the day, which, I mean, by Final 7 in particular, I was off with the fairies. Like there was confessionals of me somewhere of me comparing players to cockatoos that didn't get aired. Like I was not with it at all. And like we're talking about how it was 40 degrees and like how like none of us ate anything. Like I mean, I think my exit interview sums it up. Like I just had been on such a roller coaster that I didn't expect to make it as far as I did in the end. And the fact that I was that close, watching it back, I was sadder watching it back than what I was at the time because you don't get a grasp of how close you were until you watch it back. But yeah.
And you watch the finale and you see that montage and you're like,
yeah. Oh, my friends are on the jury. Oh, I wonder why I got booted. One of the
Yeah.
only unanimous boots, by the way. Like, I think Jasmine was unanimous, and what Mark was unanimous, and that was it.
Yeah, it was a
Which is
very
crazy.
split season.
But then within saying that, I also say it took 3 people being safe out of 5 to get me out. So
Yeah.
That's a thing.
I thought that yeah, like Anthea might do something with the idol, like do a bit of a like
But she
you know,
didn't come up to me and at least say
who
anything.
I told you to vote for, like that would have been iconic. But speaking of the end game, like, yeah, I guess we've kind of reached that point. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Because I have to say my opinion. Obviously, love everybody, but I was rooting for Anthea. I feel like she was robbed. I'm sorry. I do. I can't believe that Nat took it to a 2-2. Like, what? Like Anthea, I feel like Anthea would have cleaned up if that didn't happen. That's just my opinion. You guys were on the jury. You tell me your
Honestly,
opinion.
where was the jury's reaction shot of that vote being revealed? I think we all lost it. We're like, oh
Crazy.
my God, you say what now?
Yeah,
I
it was
think
pretty
that's like
wild.
a great move on Will's resume, being able to
Oh,
force the
absolutely.
2-2.
And I think that's what
100%.
solidified it for, like, I know it solidified it for me because there was lots of times when, and this will come up as a toxic girl thing, and I don't mean it this way, but there's like me sitting next to Mars, and I'm like, oh, Bree's got to go. Bree's got to go. And then when Bree goes, I'm like, oh, I wanted her to stay. And Mars
I
is
remember
like,
that.
what the heck, Maddie? And then, like, I was so delulu that he had to repeat my jury question like 8 times to me. And I was like, all right, here we go again. So, like, yeah, it was fun.
I think
You
I
got
gave
the
you your
standing
question,
ovation,
right?
by the way,
Yeah.
was an absolute pisser.
Huh?
You lot with this little standing ovation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I was like,
It was
I'll honor Brie for that, but then I realized that probably screwed you over. You're like, oh wow, she's got all the jury now. Because we gave you
Yeah.
standing ovation when you won individual immunity.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know whether I got a standing ovation for that. I
No,
definitely
but we
remember
definitely
making
reacted.
faces at you lot, and you're making faces at me, being like, hee, they have to vote for each other. Like, and then, yeah, obviously they well and truly caught on to that. I was like, oh, oops.
No,
I do
I
think
agree
there's-
with you there. That happened to me as well. And I literally, the jury was reacting to stuff I was saying at like the end point of like 5th. And I literally, I was like, Storm, I'm like, God, me up. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
I
good.
think
People were rooting for you.
I think it was good seeing Anthea's game like afterwards. Like, I didn't realize how much she did because I was never on that tribe. Same with Will, but like I just feel like the way Will pitched as well was quite good, and that's why I voted that way. But then after, like, when I watched it at finale, I was like, oh wow, Anthea did a lot. Like, she did so much. Yeah, just the idol thing, I think if she'd done something with that, that would have still solidified my vote for Anthea.
See, I felt like I worked arguably closer with Anthea than what I did Will. And I honestly walked into Final Tribal ready to vote Anthea because I was like, yep, she was trying to like flip the game on its head. She was making connections outside of her core alliance. You know, she was trying to get things going. And I was like, I really respect that. And to be honest, it just got to a point where Anthea just kept repeating herself and repeating the same little bits and pieces, whereas Will always brought something new to the table with every question he got asked. And it just got to the point where someone brought up how much of a threat he was perceived to be on day one. And my jaw was on the floor. I was like, oh my God. I literally was like heading into day 2, like, oh my God, I'm absolutely going to vote Will out. He's the biggest threat. He needs to go. And then just his ability to dip. Like, I think in my head, especially in like what, in particular, I think because he was left out of the Mars vote, in my head, he was therefore not a threat. Like, there was higher priorities at that point because there were other people orchestrating what was going on. And if it was that easy to leave Will out of a vote, well, clearly he's not in a good position as I perceived him to be.
Yeah.
And I think just that ability to utilize or like adjust how people perceive you. And it was just really clever, and just, I don't even know if he knew that's what he was doing, but like, yeah, it just amazed me, honestly.
It was hard to distinguish their games though, because they all played together and they all were in an alliance. So it was really hard to kind of like, it was how you portrayed it and how you like set it out to the jury was really how I voted. But I don't know if you guys voted the same.
Yeah.
Mars?
I think it's like it was a big thing for me because like a lot of people think that because I was tight with Will that I was definitely going to vote for him at the end. That was definitely not the case. Like going into that final tribal, like my vote was completely open, and I say that, but I actually mean it. Like because they worked so close together, and from my perspective, they basically just stuck together and steamrolled to the end. It was like you got to show me something in your pitch that makes me want to vote for you. And I think in the back of my mind also, like Will definitely not only did he work with me, but he just entertained the idea of working with me. Like Anthea, yes, but also like it's pretty obvious that she just like walks away whenever I try to
literally
chat.
walks away.
There's a clip. I come up and she's like, "Oh, I think there's something I got to do," and then she just walks away. I'm like, "What?" And I think it was just like I like people who are flexible in the game, and I like people who would give me the chance to work with them. And then I think so it is kind of that I was aligned with Will, but also just that appearance of he is willing to work with more than just his core blue alliance, which is what sold it for me, I think.
Yeah, like it was so hard to distinguish their games. That's why I literally asked the question straight up. I was like, can you just tell me something that you did that the other two people didn't? Like, it was just, we had no idea. Like, Derek was the only one that had any real insight into that alliance. And then, like, you guys were part of Ponderosa. Poor thing did not even get a word in. We're just yabbering on about this, that, and everything. And, like, we didn't want anyone to win and all this stuff that was going down.
We had a pros and cons.
For example, like none of us were really aware that Nat was brought into that alliance of 4 post-swap until it was brought up at Final Tribal. Like,
yeah,
I think we just thought she was always part of that group. Like, and then, I don't know. But
yeah, and from my perspective, I just thought that Nat was pretty safe, like the whole game. And she had 2 idols. Like
I would have loved to have seen some chaos.
I just wanted her to do something. I love some entertainment.
But if I was in her spot, I totally would have done the same thing because I would have been too nervous to create the chaos. So
100%. I think like it's a great way to get to the end, but like I don't know if it's the best way to win.
Yeah.
I just wonder what was going through Nat's head, because I know she said to me that she thought she could beat Will. And I'm like, for me, I mean, I was flabbergasted. That's why I ran straight to Anthea and Janine and everyone else and was like, Nat says that she can beat Will. And we're all just like, what? Like, I just wanted to know, like, what she thought she had done and what she had over everyone else. Like, by having those idols, maybe at that point she thought, okay, my game's really open that I could do anything. And then based on perhaps who had immunity and whatnot, I guess that limited what she could do. Or like, I mean, from a ally perspective, I mean, I suppose she had Aston as an option, but then she proceeded to boot Aston. I don't know, like I can't speak on behalf of Nat, but it was just rather interesting hearing those sort of perspectives. Like, I think it's just important to know the game and know everyone else, but also have that level of awareness of your position in the game as well. But
yeah, and I think in a lot of like LRGs, and I've probably been guilty myself, but like you just get in that mentality of, original tribes, your besties, fight it out to the end. But then when you like zoom out and like, as a viewer, we're watching them, it's like, but then, okay, you get to the end. How have you won the game? How do you pitch? I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. If anyone has something to lose, and then what's the point? It's all for nothing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that is kind of what happened. But yeah, I think Nat did surprise me, like with the idols and stuff. She was really good, but I feel like Anthea, like if the final three was Janine, Anthea, and Nat, I feel like Anthea probably wins, but Nat has more of a chance there than she did in the final three that she ultimately picked.
Yeah, I think to some extent saving Will also further diminished her game. So
Yeah.
what votes she might have potentially got absolutely went down the drain by saving Will.
Yeah.
To be fair, from Nat's perspective, though, I don't think that she was actively trying to save Will. She was just thinking that the votes are going to be on her.
I thought she just wanted fire making.
Yeah, that's what she said. Oh, I just
Really?
wanted to see fire making. That's what I like watching as a viewer, or something along those lines.
No, what I got from the edit, at least, I thought it was because like Will put it in her head that like, oh, they're voting for her, and so then they need to gang up on someone else to force a 2-2. So that's what I thought. I didn't know that she just wanted to go for fire.
See, my genuine perspective of Nat at Final Tribal, like obviously everyone's going to have a different opinion, and so is Nat in terms of her whole game. But I feel like Nat in the end got a bit sidetracked with completing her Survivor bucket list rather than playing to win. And that's where in the back of my head, like she must have said it at some point. And Josh, you're saying you heard it as well. Yeah, she just wanted to go to fire making. Like that was one of the things she wanted to tick off. And I'm just like, that's such a bizarre thing. Like you're such a big fan, but then like when it comes down to it, like yeah, I mean, everyone's going to play the game the way they want to play it, but yeah, just
I feel like she did mention something about a bucket list as well. Like she was ticking, like I've got idols, I've got this, and then fire making was kind of must have been on there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Any juicy tea? Anything naughty? I remember Annabelle asked this on my tea party. Anything naughty at the after parties that happen, you know?
I don't know about the after party, but I don't know. Long story short, I was the only one to this is not the naughty thing, by the way. I'm getting to that. But I was the only one to not have a tent and slept under the stars in a sleeping bag. It was November. I could do that.
It's like 40
but that
degrees.
meant the next morning, everyone was packing up their tent and I was just standing around. So yes, the game's on a pause, but I'm like, no, this is the perfect opportunity to go and talk to people and have genuine conversations. And you know, you're allowed to do that. Nothing's stopping you. So I had like this full-on conversation with Will, and just quietly, I think that's what saved my ass instead of poor Jordan going at merge vote, because like we were just yabbering on him about this, that, and everything, and we were getting on like a house on fire. And I think I went because I was like, I'm going to try and catch everyone that I hadn't been on a tribe with. So I talked to Will for a bit, and then who did I try to go to next? Oh, I went to try and talk to Derek, and then he was pretty much done. I went, oh, okay. And then I went to Nat. And I think I briefly spoke with her, but then I didn't speak to her enough during the game, and the relationship never quite formed. But yeah, I guess naughty. I didn't break protocol, but I sort of did.
Can I just add quietly? I offered my tent to Brie. I said she could stay in my tent, and she declined. She would prefer to stay under the stars and get dew all over her sleeping bag than stay in a tent with me.
I think I was more worried about appearing like we were breaking the rules and that we would have chit-chat. I don't know.
It was a one-man tent and I offered room for you. I'm just stirring, you know that.
Yeah.
She'd rather share her sleep with all the cockroaches and bugs.
Yeah,
no, I'd rather be kissed by a kangaroo in the middle of the night, you know.
Than share a tent with me.
I mean, one last thing that it's not that juicy, but like one thing that I did forget to share was that like it's not, I don't think it comes up at all in the edit, but like I was so like headstrong on making sure that we had a solid initial tribe which would just push forward and try to pick up people along the way, that like even in the swap tribe I was like down on the numbers, but I was like, blue is a dying breed. And I kept saying that because like overall going into a merge, blue would be down on numbers. So I'm like, blue is a dying breed. And it's not even in my confessionals. Like I do say it in my confessionals, but I just say it like straight up to like Will and Derek and some other people. I'm like, blue is a dying breed.
It's a wonder you survived pre-merge.
I know. I'm like, blue's a dying breed. You got to come over to us. And I don't know how I got merge at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You were probably flirting with Derek, so he let you stay.
Oh, also, morning of day 2, who got their hands on Mushy's contraband chocolate?
What?
We were all eating chocolate before the start of day 2. By the time they were handing around the croissants at the start of the second day, I was like, I'm not hungry.
Probably looking for an unknown idol. My favorite thing that wasn't aired was, as we're walking to tribal, I say to someone, I think it's Anthea, I'm like, who are we voting for, Mushy or Mars? And Mushy's behind me and she goes, I can hear you.
Oh, that was the double tribal, I reckon, when Mushy went.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, I guess last question, and then I've got some orca things I got to talk about. But yeah, would you guys play again if you were asked, like if it was Canberra or whatever, like anything, any other LRG, would you play again?
100%.
Yeah.
No.
I've really just got to address this whole misogynistic stuff. Like, it's getting out of control now. Like, you mentioned it, the other podcast mentioned it. I'm like, come on, guys, this is ridiculous. It's not funny. I need to address this. So yes, anyone that'll have me, please.
I would align with you.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
You just finished saying earlier tonight that you wouldn't align with me ever again.
Did I? Oops.
Yeah.
Cool, calm, and collected.
I mean, like, for me, like, now that I've had the chance to actually watch myself back, I definitely would play again. Because it's just a whole new experience, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If anyone wants me, God of War.
Well, you know, I mean, I would play again. I would play with anyone, anytime. So, you know, if I meet you guys in a future game, love you, besties. Yeah. And so about the orca. So obviously this is the orca pod. One person gets crowned the orca of the season, which I forget the spiel of what it is, but it's like strong-arming strategy, asserting yourself, making yourself the center of attention, being dramatic, all of that stuff. Yeah, are you guys campaigning for the orca? Do you think you're worthy of it? And yeah, give us your pitch, or who do you think should be crowned the orca from your season? Start with Bree this time. We started with Mars for stuff before. Go Bree first.
I can't believe they make you pitch for this thing. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, look, if my game doesn't speak for itself, then I don't bloody deserve it. Like, give me the orca, don't give me the orca. Come on, like, I either deserve it or I don't. I don't need a pitch tonight to prove it. It happened 2.5 years ago. What am I going to say that's any different or bring any new insights to what happened 2.5 years ago? I either deserved it 2.5 years ago or I didn't. So let me know what you reckon. That's my pitch.
Fair. Maddie?
I don't know. Like, I have no strategy, so I don't know how I would be an orca. Like, let's be real. Maybe dramatic, chaos, all that, yes. But, like, strategy-wise, I wouldn't even say that. I think Derek could be a strong competitor for an orca.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, he had his little moments on screen.
Nice. You got to be a bit of a demon. He's too nice. You got to be a bit of a demon.
He is very nice, though. Like, he doesn't have the, like, he's going to, like, gouge your eyes out kind of vibe. Like, I don't think anyone really had that.
He'd be like Miss
Mars
Congeniality.
he was a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
actually,
did you?
I changed to Mars.
You're gonna put a vote for me to be Orca?
Yeah,
I'll take
I
that.
think Mars actually. Yeah,
I mean,
because you
like,
wanted me gone. You were like,
yeah,
bam, get rid of
I
Maddie.
want you gone yesterday.
Yeah, I know. That was really in the heartstrings broken. Yeah, no, I think Mars actually. I changed it. Derek was too nice. He actually tried to work with me. Mars didn't want to borrow it. Mars, Orca.
Yeah,
Done.
I mean, like if you saw my confessionals on my vote out episode, that's like the energy that I think I gave throughout the whole season. But I think Dan's very nice in his editing, so he gives everyone a very nice edit. But I think there are a lot of stuff that I say in my confessionals that don't make it to air. I think there's a part where everyone's chatting about maths or something, and like I'm like, I just want to play Survivor, and like I look down the camera and in the background, I just like given like the Jim from The Office face, like, and I'm like,
There's some great pictures
and
of
I'm like,
you
I
with
don't want
eye
to hear yappa yappa yappa. I just want to play Survivor.
There's so many eye roll pictures of Mars where he's like, oh, so good.
And like I don't know, like think about Orca things like Blue is a Dying Breed. I think that's a solid one that didn't make the edit. There's like I do say King stays king a lot. I say I'm a puppet master. But King stays king, God of War, all this stuff makes a very common feature in all of my confessionals. But I think Dan just got sick of hearing me all that time, so I think we only see it at the end. But definitely, I'm like, I think I'm running the game. I'm just hoping that people will come to me and help me with my plan. Yeah, I think that's my pitch.
One thing I think could have helped you, you know, because it is the Congress of Orcas who vote for who gets the Orca. You know, the God of War. I didn't see any like shirtless pictures moments. Oh my God, that's wow. Yeah, I didn't see the feet this season. No abs. Like, what was going on? Like the planking challenge, you could have done that with your shirt off. Win instantly. But no, not really. But no, we love that.
Just for you, Josh.
Hey, it wouldn't be a tea party without, well, maybe it would be with Annabelle. But, well, there's your pictures for the Orca. And we will see who wins. Now, there is a Sydney Survivor, if anybody's been watching, a penultimate episode recap podcast soon. And the finale of Sydney Survivor is next week. So podcasts will be coming for that. And there is the Orca Pod Drinks. Are you having a Melbourne Boys reunion, the Uncharted Waters reunion in Melbourne on the 1st of August? I wish I was in Melbourne, but I cannot make it. But yeah,
you just have to come along to the Canberra ones because we're getting Canberra drinks.
To be honest, when's the Canberra one? I'll see if I've got any frequent flyer points left.
I'd ask your co-hosts. I've got no idea.
But
just
yeah,
on the pinky promise, Brie. Our promise.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, there's some Pondy shots.
Yes. I'll let Josh talk. Sorry.
Oh no, that was it. No, I was saying that was cute. I was done pretty much. I just don't know how to wrap one of these up. But yes, it was a very fun podcast. And
say bye.
Oh, say bye. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you guys for spilling all the tea. I hope that you got everything out. This was your last chance. And yeah, amazing season. Thank you for being entertaining for all of us watching. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, we'll see you again sometime.
Thanks for having us on.